closing, God told Jonah to go to Nineveh, a huge city. The walls was about 8 miles in circumference, with a population of 175,000 people. That's a whole lot of people that Jonah was afraid of, and that his nation was afraid of. They were scared of the folk of Nineveh. Let me just make it clear and plain for they was afraid of the folk in Nineveh. And he was afraid to go to Nineveh and tell them what God told him to do because he was afraid of his own life. Sometimes we're afraid to preach messages because we're afraid of how the people gonna feel. Sometimes we're afraid to pray for folk because they might get delivered. In Jonah's case, he didn't want, hallelujah, the favor of God to be on his enemies. But we got to release, hallelujah, we feel personally, we got to do the will of God. Jonah did not want to do God's will. He wanted to do his own will. That's why he jumped in the ship and went in the opposite direction, because I don't want the folk in Nineveh, those folk that's idolaters, those folks that's prostitutes, those folks that support witchcraft, those folks that's hellish on wheels. I don't want them to get the favor of the Lord in their lives. I don't want them to have what I have. I don't want God's favor to be upon them, and I'm not going to do what the Lord tells me to do. So guess what happened to Jonah? Jonah decided to get on the ship and go in the opposite direction. Jonah decided, I'm going to do my own thing, and I'm not going to do what the Lord told me to do. I'm going to get on this ship, and I'm going to go in the opposite direction. In other words, I'm telling you to go to San Antonio. It's about 500 miles away, and tell the folk in San Antonio what the Lord say to do. But instead of going to San Antonio, I decided to go in the opposite direction, 500 miles away to Phoenix or somewhere down in California. That's the difference, 500 miles away. In other words, he got on the ship, he got in the middle of the ocean, and then all of a sudden a storm came around, and the storm changed his direction and changed the mind of Jonah. He ended up jumping in the water and ended up getting caught up in the belly of the whale, and then all of a sudden the whale spit him out, and he got a second chance.